Welcome to Worthy Ones, where I take all the newest #1 comic books that I read for the comic book week and deem them worthy or not worthy, or in this case, maybe some highly anticipated comics as well. Guys, I'm Mike Spider Slayer. Welcome back to Comic Book Corner 2.0. If you love daily comic book content, if you love me helping you make decisions on what comic books to buy, well, you came to the right place. Subscribe to the channel, and it's much appreciated. So guys, before we get started, I just want to give a quick shout out to the sponsor of this video, Sidekick. What happens when you start a new box with too much empty space? Your books slide, they slouch, they flop, they bend, they crease, and now your books are ruined. But what's the solution? Well, pick up a Sidekick today. Be the hero of your comic collection. The Sidekick fits firmly in your short box to keep those comics upright and prevent them from falling. So guys, check out Sidekick today. There is a link in my description box below. This product is made in the USA. It offers free shipping, and if you use my promo code Slayer15, you'll also get 15% off. And also, if that is not good enough, guys, when you make a purchase for Sidekick, there is a portion of the proceeds go to Comic Book for Kids. So they are a proud partner of that charity. So guys, what are you waiting for? Check out Sidekick to protect your comic book collection. Timeless, issue 1. This one is written by Jackson Lansing and Colin Kelly. This is a 56-page comic, and this is $7. Now, a lot of people might pass on this comic because of the expensive price point, and a lot of people say, well, these types of books are maybe glorified previews. There is a story here. Now, whether the story is any good or not, I'm here to let you know. The previous Timeless books were written by Jed MacKay in 2021 and 2022. The artwork in this book was okay. It's pretty simplistic layouts. I thought the characters looked good. I thought Power Man actually looked good. He's got all these different power sets. Somehow he's acquired the power of not only his own power, but Iron Fist. He's got the power of a Hulk. He's got the power of a Sentry. And but the unfortunate thing is we don't know how he got these powers. Now, there is a particular person here that acquired Stark Unlimited, and he's basically controlled over the world and has become something more. And you've gotten to see Power Man do battle against this particular character. And it's like a Moon Knight character, okay? So the battle was pretty good. It's a pretty good, like, one and done type of story. It's just a pretty awesome fight when you see it. But overall, was this book worth the $7 price tag? No, I don't think it was worthy. I think if you want to spend the money on it, I say, you know, go for it. It was kind of creepy at times. How this kind of relates to other Timeless comic books, well, what they do is they kind of showcase a little bits and pieces and fragments that's going to go on in the future of Marvel Comics, okay? And it really didn't give you anything spectacular. Again, it was just bits and pieces, like I said, and at the end you kind of get this little preview page, but it doesn't really give you anything. So again, for a $7 price point, I don't know, guys. I think you could pass this one up. It was okay, but I know there's other comics out there that you may want to read better. If I graded this book, I would probably give this one a C+. I thought it was good, but it wasn't great. Ghost Rider issue 21. Guys, this is the conclusion to the newest volume of Ghost Rider. And let me tell you, this volume has been fun. I was in for the ride, no pun intended, right? It started off fantastic, very horrific, just balls to the walls, action, creepy, just seeing this journey that Johnny Blaze has been going on has been great. And then we got introduced to Talia Warroad, which was very early on in the series. We found out that she's working with like the supernatural FBI. She's developed this relationship with Johnny Blaze, and by the time we've gotten to the end of this book or this volume, we wind up finding out a little bit of an origin story of this character. Now, the key thing about this character is that I guess supposedly she's going to be the next like Ghost Rider. It's not 100% sure, but it just seems that it's leading all to that. This book again is written by Benjamin Percy. This book is a $5 comic book. The artwork continues to be pretty solid. I don't think it's the same artist as it once was on here or as creepy, but it is a fun book. I just really enjoyed it. And again, the character growth in this book is absolutely a lot of fun because where we get a lot of new characters in Marvel these days that take over mantles or whatnot, they're kind of just thrown in your face and they're all of a sudden they're the next Spider-Man or the next Captain Marvel or the next Hulk, right? Where this character has developed herself a little bit, and I like her, and I want to see where she goes. Now, what happened in this issue, it's the conclusion to her origin story, and this guy here was part of Mephisto's gang. He was like the gang leader, and he basically ruined Talia Warroad's life. He basically killed her parents, and she wanted to get revenge on him, and that's what this issue was about. Now, supposedly, we saw the demise of this character and the end of Talia Warroad as well, but I don't think that's the case, and it just leaves off where Johnny Blaze is riding off into the sunset, and he's like, I'm all alone, and this and that. And it's led to believe that Johnny Blaze's time as the writer has coming to an end because after this issue, we kick off with a new number 1. I am going to deem this a book worthy. Now, you guys are probably going to say, well, why do you need to renumber? Why do you need to restart? I just think that's where we are in comics these days. They don't want stories to drag on and on and on. They want to try to have new jumping on points for new readers. And when you put that number 1 on there, that's why they do it, okay? I don't believe in the spec portion of that anymore where you get that new number 1 and it's going to be worth, billions of dollars. I think we're all past that at that point. I think it's more for the readers out there to get people on board. They still have the legacy numbering on there, guys. I mean, right below that number, right on 21, there's legacy numbering 264. It's still there. It's just they want jumping on points for new readers. But going back to grading this comic book, overall as a series, I'm going to grade the series an A-. I've really enjoyed it all the way through. I've done nothing but preach it since it's come out. And for a Ghost Rider book where I'm not a huge fan of the character, it's definitely kept my interest all the way through. So if you've never read this series, go out and buy the trades. I don't think you'll be disappointed, guys. Deadly Hands of Kung Fu Gang War Issue 1, the latest spin-off from the whole Gang War event. So now if you are a completionist of the Gang War, well, here's your newest issue 1. So this book is written by Greg Pak. The artwork is done by K.O. Machado. It's a 32-page comic for $5, so it is a little pricey. When it comes to the artwork is fine. It's definitely serviceable. There's some bright, vibrant colors in here, good action scenes in the comic, especially when you see Shang-Chi use his, 10 rings, which is in this page right here, which I thought was kind of cool. And then we do get to see Spider-Man make his appearance. I liked his big eyes in there, too. So what was this comic about? Well, really, it was about Shang-Chi just remembering what his father would say and do to him in the act of war, since there is a gang of war. Does Shang-Chi make the right decisions? And he struggles with that as being like a young leader, right? And there's obviously people out there to get him to get the 10 rings, and I would say it's the people closest to him. So we've seen this story before with revenge and stuff like that, and people want to take the throne. That's basically what this comic is about. And Shang-Chi just making the right or wrong decisions. Does it add to the gang war experience? I would say kind of. I would not say this is a must read when it comes to gang war, but if you are a completionist of events, I would say, pick this one up. But if you're a casual reader and you just want to follow the main event, I would say it is not worthy. So again, I'm not a really huge fan of Shang-Chi. I wasn't very interested in this. Will I continue it? Probably so, just because I'm buying all the gang war stuff. But my biggest gripe about this comic book, and if I'm wrong, please let me know in the comments below. But if you read the Iron Man series right now, Ironheart, Riri Williams, is in that comic book. And I'm pretty sure she has possession of the 10 rings. If I'm wrong, again, let me know in the comments below. But I'm pretty sure. And if Shang-Chi has possession of these rings, then how is that canon, right? So that's interesting to me. So that could be a big problem there in the continuity when it comes to Marvel Comics and what's going on in their comics right now. But as an overall comic, I would say for me, this one was average. It was a C comic book. And like I said, I will continue to read it just to see the development on how everything ties together by the time we get to the end of the gang war. Titans Beast World issue 3. A very surprising event so far from DC Comics. Probably the best event so far after 2 issues. This one is written by Tom Taylor. The artwork on this one is done by Lucas Mayer. And this is 32 pages for $5. So let's check out the artwork in this comic. I thought that the artwork in here was actually really good. Characters looked fantastic in here. I loved all their facial expressions. I love the action. Let's check out some good pages in here. There's one page in here where Power Girl's in here like stopping a plane from crashing down, and then she transforms into some like fire harpy. Like the transformation was really cool right here, and then she just becomes that crazy ass creature right here. So I thought the artwork looked really good. So top-notch artwork. So that was solid for me. But what did I think about this particular story? Does it continue to deliver after 2 issues of this? I would say, yeah. I think this is, it still has that explosive action, just like the first 2 issues. We get to see a focus here on Starfire and Donna Troy, which I feel like we don't see enough of Donna Troy these days. And we get to see like how powerful she actually is. We get to see how strong Power Girl is and how, how willful she is, as well as trying to stop the transformation from happening. I thought there were some good character emotions in here, especially with Dick Grayson in the beginning of the comic book. And again, it's really just about the heroes kind of just stopping Garo at this point from just taking over the world, and they're trying to come up with a plan in order to stop him but not hurt him. And right now we have Raven talking with Donna saying, can we use your lasso to see if we can get a hold of him? And she's like, well, I don't know. It could reverse its power if that happens, and I could be lost forever. So you get to see the beginnings of them trying to stop Gar at this point in time. Are they successful? I don't know. We shall see. But seeing her go through that strain of trying to capture him was really interesting. I loved it. The art was so good, man. And then at the end, we get to see Amanda Waller do her Amanda Waller-like thing, right? So this book continues to surprise me and is worthy. Definitely a fun read with lots of action, great pacing, lots of emotion as well. And this is where I feel like Tom Taylor writes the best. I feel like he knows how to write these mini-series, these apocalyptic-like situations. I don't know, man. I really love this book, and I'm going to give this one an A+. So if you decided to shelve this one and say, I'm done with it, so far, man, this is the best DC event of the year, and it's going out with a bang. Duke, issue 1, written by Joshua Williamson, and the art is done by Tom Riley. This book is a 40-page comic for $5. Highly anticipating this comic book as it kicks off the whole, Energon universe for G.I. Joe, right? And check out this 2-page spread. I mean, that artwork right there in itself is absolutely awesome. I really enjoyed looking at this comic book. I wouldn't say there's like a ton of action in this comic, but it definitely kicks off the story. It's a nice little setup issue here. So how does everything kick off here? Well, this is straight from the pages of Transformers issue 2. That's right. If you read issue 2 of Transformers, you got to see Starscream go after Duke, and he escaped, but he wound up splatting one of his co-pilots, right? And in this issue, you wind up seeing Duke go through some PTSD type of situation. He's never seen anything like this before. Now, remember, this book does take place early on in Duke's career, right out of the academy and whatnot. So he's just never seen all this crazy war stuff yet. There's a lot of things he hasn't seen, but he's still top of his class. But, people don't believe what he saw. And so they're like, General Hulk is like, why don't you go take a vacation and, clear your head and this and that. So what Duke does is he goes into investigation of UFOs and all this, things that normal people would not believe. And he comes across a specific person that has been doing research on her own, and they wound up stealing all her life work. And basically what Duke does is do her a favor and try to find out where all this technology has gone. And you come across a particular character in this comic that we haven't seen yet in, the IDW series. We've gotten to see, a little preview of Cobra vehicles in here as well. And it was just a lot of fun. I really enjoyed what action it did have. And it's just basically a huge setup of things to come in the future for Duke. So I do like the cameos in here of certain characters. I don't want to spoil it in case you haven't read it yet, but definitely a book that is a lot of fun with some great action, and I cannot wait to see where this goes. So this book is definitely worthy. I love everything about the Energon universe. Now, I'm not as huge of a fan of G.I. Joe as I am with Transformers. That's not to say, though, I dislike G.I. Joe. It's just not as big for me. But I am so looking forward to Cobra Commander and just how these universes keep on crossing paths with each other, right? But some might not like this Duke story because they might say, well, it's not the same as the Duke that I know on the cartoon or read maybe in past G.I. Joe comic books. Joshua Williamson has said, I want to do something a little bit different that we haven't seen from the character. So if we have to start from a younger point of time, then that's what we might have to do. But I'm on board with this book, guys. So if I had to grade this one, I would say that this one is an A. I had a lot of fun, and when I closed the pages or closed the book, I sat there and said, man, I can't wait to see the direction of this where this goes. And again, I just love seeing the early stages of Cobra. So there you have it, web heads. There are the worthy or not worthy comics of the week. I want to know in the comments below what you deemed worthy or not worthy. And if you guys love my content, I'm going to leave you more content right here for you to check out. In fact, this is my entire comic book haul for the entire week. So hopefully you guys will check that out. And as always, guys, support the local comic shops. Keep buying, keep collecting, but more importantly, always read those comics. Guys, thank you so much. I'll see you real soon. Bye.